Morning, all, and let's go ahead and talk about tonight's game. A little bit of a news of the day type thing, and things are going to get really noisy once the Stanley Cup's been awarded around the hockey world. So tonight we have Dallas and Tampa Bay. It's game one, and there's a lot of storylines here. The very physical Dallas Stars, underdogs once again. There are some starting to believe in Dallas a little bit, but every round it's been the same. So I didn't take them to win a round at all, but they have. I took Tampa Bay to win the Stanley Cup, and they're in the finals. And yet I'm looking at this and saying, you know what? To me, it's kind of a crapshoot, just with what I've seen from both teams. Now, Dallas has to bring that physical game, and again, this isn't about targeting guys and all that. It's just about the fact that Tampa Bay's kind of worn down. So there's a stat that shows you why Tampa Bay's worn down. They've been very composed. There won't be any Stamkos tonight. There's some debate about whether or not he's going to come back at some point in the final, but he's not back tonight. And so this is a team that's played a record amount of time in overtime, 185 minutes and 17 seconds, which broke the record of the 1994 New Jersey Devils. And that's a lot of time. That's an extra 3 games. An extra 3 games spent. Now, 5 periods of that, of course, was against Columbus. So most of that was early on, but still, that's a lot of physical play going on for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who've been through some pretty strong defensive teams, and now they meet Dallas in the final. And we'll see whether or not that starts to take a toll. It felt like it did at times against the Islanders. It felt like it did against Columbus at points too. And we'll see. I'd throw Boston in there, but I didn't really feel at any point like Boston was wearing them down, to be honest. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting game tonight. I think whoever wins game one probably wins the Stanley Cup. And I think Tampa Bay has a good chance, but Dallas has had those extra days off. We'll see if they come out with some more edge tonight and some more jump. And we'll see where we're at tonight. Now, the reason I'm wearing a St. Louis jersey is that Alex Pietrangelo likely won't anymore. He's been told that, all right, go to free agency. So they can't agree on money, which means that if you're of the mind that you'd like to see your team sign Pietrangelo, which I was about Boston, notice I said was, if he's not going to give any kind of discount to St. Louis, he's not giving a discount anywhere else either. So he's decided he's getting paid, and that's going to lead to him making a lot of money. And when we get to any unrestricted free agent season, there's going to be contracts that teams regret later. And if somebody signs him to a really long-term contract for a lot of money, that could end up being one of those contracts you don't regret in a year, but maybe 3 years down the road, you say, it might have been a little bit much. So talks are broken off. And now St. Louis can look for something else. Might I suggest a Torrey Krug coming out of Boston? As long as you don't use him a lot 5-on-5, if you use him on the power play, and if you have somebody to cover for his defensive mishaps 5-on-5, and St. Louis definitely has that, Krug could be a decent fill-in for Pietrangelo and probably won't cost as much money. I'm saying probably because I have no idea what guys are going to make on this market because of the flat cap and because of the economic uncertainty that we're going through. So yeah, St. Louis is going to be different next year. They're going to be looking at a revamped blue line. Quinn Hughes, I've noticed this Quinn Hughes is being mentioned on TSN and Sportsnet almost daily right now, and just in general on social media, there's a lot. And I get it. I just hope that with Quinn Hughes, I hope that there's not like added pressure on top of what was already there, and that his development, people still understand he's not quite what he's going to be, I would say 2-3 years down the road. He's still learning the game. And I hope that the pressure doesn't amp up so much that it starts to hinder his game. But that's me, and that does happen with Canadian teams and players. And the Canadian media is definitely capable of maybe overhyping things just a little bit. And I love Quinn Hughes. I do. I think the guy's fantastic. But do I think sometimes he gets overhyped? On some level, maybe. But again, do I think he's going to end up winning a Norris? It's possible. Do I think he's the best defenseman in the league? I don't think we're there, but there's already talk about I think he's one of the best defensemen in the league. Okay, well, let's just maybe turn that down just a little bit. He's excellent. He might be and I've already said he's probably the best defenseman the Canucks have ever had. With all due apologies to Ed Jovanovski, who I think was the best before this, but here we are. And on Canuck news as well, Podkolzin, 3 games played for St. Petersburg, 1 goal, 1 assist. He's playing fourth line minutes, and the concern is that not getting enough ice time could hurt his development. And yet a goal and an assist in 3 games, that's not too shabby. And of course, the plan is that when he's done with his deal in the KHL, that he comes over, plays for the Canucks, and becomes a superstar. I don't know about superstar, but the plan is he'll come over and play for the Canucks when that deal's done. And that between Hoglander and Podkolzin that you'll have a pretty good young core with Vancouver and a top 9 that should be pretty solid as long as they can stay under the cap. But all the best to him. Speaking of all the best, apparently Eric Staal is quite happy to be playing in Buffalo for Kevin Adams. Somebody who he played with in Carolina, who he said was very, very nice to him when he was a young kid coming into the NHL. And so he's kind of excited to play for Adams. And of course, it's been mentioned, Eric Staal has some experience playing with Skinner. And so I guarantee you that Adams was looking at that and saying, all right, so Skinner had an off year. And the idea that you could just put Skinner back with Eichel, sure, but you need more than one line going. You need more scoring. So he probably looked at this and said, all right, short term, I can bring in Staal and put him with Skinner, and we'll see how it goes. They've played together before. So Buffalo, I definitely think is trending in the right direction, and the fact that Adams is apparently a popular guy with players who've played with him, that's a benefit. And if you're Buffalo, take all the positives you can while you can, and then just run. Just run. That's a positive. Nope. Stop talking. That was the positive. We're going to just don't talk about all the rest, because all the rest isn't going to be positive, but there we are. Logan O'Connor signs a 2-year extension with the Abs, $725,000 per year. As I said yesterday, watch for a lot of restricted free agents to be signing deals like this over the next, I'll say, week, as teams try to figure out their finances for next year, and you peg these contracts off first. They're easy to deal with and to sign, and then you can worry about any kind of arbitration and all that 2 years from now. That's not your concern right now. Your concern right now is, okay, we've got the flat cap for the at least next couple of years. We need to make sure that we're keeping things in line. So you look at O'Connor and you go, all right, well, he's a restricted free agent. We'll deal with him first. So Joe Sakic, a man with a plan for the Colorado Avalanche, and O'Connor sticking around for a couple of years on a very team-friendly contract. Decent fourth line fill-in, not like superstar level, but you need to have all 4 lines in order to compete for a cup. Both Dallas and Tampa, who are playing tonight, they both can roll pretty solid lines 1 through 4. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about any of these topics on the board. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.